Waterwise, xeric, dry-growing, climate-adapted. All of these are terms that describe gardens that grow with little, if any, water once they're established. Now, if they make you think of gardens that would be dry or dusty and drab, forget it. These are gardens that are lush and colorful with texture. The possibilities are endless. Waterwise gardens follow the seasons. They're showiest in fall and spring. They rest in the heat of summer and often in the middle of winter. These are gardens of place. They reflect the land, the climate. They support beneficial insects and birds and other wildlife, and people too. Waterwise gardens are dynamic systems that start with the soil. They involve irrigation and plants and rocks and mulch and much, much more. The goal is to create functional, dynamic, and beautiful gardens, as we'll see today on A Growing Passion. Until just a few months ago, this front yard was a rectangle of worn grass edged in 40-year-old shrubs. There was a jacaranda tree right in the middle. It was tired, it was dated, and it was thirsty. The owners knew it was time. And as much as they wanted a new look, they wanted a new garden that wouldn't require very much maintenance and used a lot less water. So they hired a designer, they dug out the lawn, and their contractor is about to break ground on their brand new Waterwise garden. These days, water is a major concern for every garden. How much it uses and how it's used, how it's applied and managed, and what happens to the extra. This is a small garden that soon will have all the elements of any Waterwise garden. We'll replace the concrete pathway with a more permeable surface. We'll move the pathway away from the house, so there's easier access from the driveway. That also creates a larger planting bed next to the house. A second pathway will come from the street. The garden needs a tree for height and for shade, and as a focal point. The backyard drains through the side of the garden on its way to the street. We'll capture that water and water from the downspout in a swale, so we can hold it in the soil. We'll plant with Waterwise plants, irrigated with drip irrigation and topped with a thick layer of mulch. The goal here is to capture water in the soil, basically to bank it as much as possible. Holding water does several things. It limits runoff that carries silt and sediments, along with contaminants like fertilizer and dog waste. Soil microbes can then break those pollutants down before they wash into nearby streams, wetlands, and the ocean. Holding water in the soil makes it available for plant roots. So when this garden is replanted, having that moisture in the soil helps plants survive and thrive in the long run. Installing a new garden is a considerable investment. It's on par with the cost of remodeling. Homeowners are often tempted to save money by keeping some of the irrigation and other infrastructure. But that old irrigation was designed to support turf and to spray water onto plant leaves. It loses at least half of the water it sprays to evaporation, to runoff, and to overspray onto sidewalks and driveways. New irrigation technologies waste almost no water. They release water slowly onto the soil, so roots get saturated. And managed correctly, there's no runoff. A Waterwise garden is a complex system that saves water, time, resources, and money. It's beautiful, and it just makes sense. We start with the drainage. The contractor is installing a perforated pipe to collect water as it flows from the slope in the backyard, off the roof, and from the surrounding soil. The swale will slow and hold water. This is where we trap silt and sediments along with pollutants. The pipe gets a cover of cobble and stones, so it looks like a dry creek bed, which it is until it rains. Then it might fill with water at least for a little while. With the drainage in place, it's time to trench for new irrigation lines. New irrigation valves get installed too. The valves turn the drip irrigation on and off. Since this garden will be watered with drip, each valve requires a filter and a pressure reducer.
What makes it really convenient is the Rainbird has an inline valve where you can actually have a combination filter and regulator.
Water pressure from the street typically runs 40 to 120 pounds per square inch. but drip systems operate at 25 to 40 pounds per square inch. Higher pressure can blow a drip system apart. A pressure reducer will solve that problem. So we've got to go low pressure. We've got the pressure reducer in here. And whether it comes as built into a new valve or added on to an existing valve. A filter keeps sediment out of the line so it doesn't clog the emitters. And a flush valve downline is for clearing debris out of the irrigation lines. With the below-ground system in place, the crew gets busy with the hardscape. That's the hard landscape materials, like concrete, pavers, and in this case, flagstone. The new stoop is flagstone set into concrete, so it's solid for safe footing. Flagstone in the patio and the pathways are set into decomposed granite. That's for water permeability, and to look nice, of course. Next, we bring in soil for shaping mounds. The mounds serve multiple purposes. They're made of lean, well-drained soil, typically 30% organic matter like compost, mixed with 70% inorganic soil. That's just the right balance of water holding and water drainage for plant roots. There are dark brown humates mixed in to support soil microbes and plant growth. The soil gets contoured to direct water when it rains. And from an aesthetic perspective, adding mounds and curves transforms a flat space into something much more interesting.
So how many of these do we have?
New Waterwise trees, shrubs, succulents, and perennials will soon fill this garden with color. Our palette includes some native plants, along with plants from other Mediterranean climate regions of the world. Those are places where the climate pattern is the same as California's, so the plants are well adapted to long, hot, dry summers. This is my favorite way to plant. Water the plant in its pot until water runs out the drainage holes. Dig a hole as deep as the plant's pot and a little bit wider. Fill the hole with water to moisten the soil and let it drain into the surrounding dirt. Add a few handfuls of worm castings to each planting hole to support beneficial soil microbes. Those microbes, like fungi and others, help move water and nutrients through the soil to reach plant roots. Carefully remove the plant from its pot and gently loosen the soil around the roots. That helps the roots grow out into the soil rather than staying wound in a tight mass. Place the plant in the hole, then check that the crown of the plant is just slightly higher than the soil around it. Refill the hole with the soil you took out, stopping every so often to wet it. When you're done, the plant should sit just a little higher in the ground than it did in the pot. That leaves room for mulch later on. Next, the crew installs a grid of inline drip irrigation right on the soil surface. The system is controlled by a smart controller. A smart controller turns the water on and off, adjusting it based on the type of plant, the garden's location, the weather, and other factors. Once we saturate all the soil, we program the controller to keep the soil damp while plant roots become established. We put tall pots with tall plants on the patio for decoration and to hide the neighbor's wall.
I think that's good.
Some of the pots are planted in blueberries and in lemongrass for cooking. We grow these in pots so we can give them a little extra water without overwatering everything else. This small garden's irrigation is controlled by just 2 valves. Irrigation for the pots are on one valve, while irrigation for the plants in the ground are on the other. In a bigger garden, there could be 6 or 12 or 24 valves, each controlling a set of irrigation lines. By grouping plants based on their water needs, that's called hydrozoning. Each valve provides just the right amount of water to its zone. The grid of drip lines lies on the soil surface so the owners can find it easily and not accidentally put a shovel through it when they're working in the garden. But don't worry about how it looks, because it gets covered by a thick layer of mulch. Mulch acts like an insulating blanket, keeping moisture from evaporating into the air. It also keeps weeds from germinating. It helps moderate soil temperatures. And as mulch breaks down, it helps build soil and support those important soil microbes. Mulch also gives the garden a finished look. This garden is designed to need very little care. There's nothing to mow. Nothing requires pruning other than a bit of early shaping. And the plants don't need fertilizer. And since every aspect of this garden was designed with water in mind, the garden should use less than half of the water of its previous incarnation. And it's a lot more attractive. What's not to like? It's a Waterwise garden from the ground up.
Look at the view today.
Oh, it's great. And when we bought this house, this is what made us decide on this particular property.
I sure get it.
In every Waterwise garden, the goal is to incorporate as many ways as possible to minimize water use while creating the most beautiful and sustainable results.
What are you thinking of all this?
It's wonderful. Yeah, every day we just enjoy it immensely.
When Bob and Janet Liggett bought their home, they wanted a beautiful garden with places to sit and enjoy the outdoors with their friends and family. They wanted it to use little water and to require even less maintenance. This garden was installed about 6 months ago. I came by to see how the garden was doing in the middle of its first rainy season.
You ever feel like you're living in a bowl here?
Oh, we do.
Because it's all slopes, right? So the water, when it rains hard, it comes down from the neighbors, right?
It does.
And then where does it go? Because we really wanted to capture it.
It used to be that it pretty much ran straight down the driveway, but now we've got it so angled that it goes to collection points.
Great.
And then it goes into the yard.
These collection points are a series of swales, gentle contours, mounds, and dips. This simple strategy helps keep some of the water on site and in the soil.
We love this feature. It looks so great and it serves a great purpose.
This dry stream bed was what I was really excited about because, we created the contour so that when it rains and there's runoff, all the water would come and accumulate here. Has that worked?
Yes, it has, and it works really well.
So how was it in the rainfall?
The heavy rains we had a few weeks ago, the stream bed collected the water. It rose to a level higher than what we expected before it slowly drained out.
Perfect. That's what we want.
Aesthetically, the creek bed draws the eye and attention out into the distance, so the garden looks endless. It pulls visitors out into the garden beyond the envelope of the house.
Now, I can't wait to see these aloes bloom.
They'll be beautiful.
Around the swales, we added mounds of well-draining soil, the best choice for most succulents and drought-tolerant plants. Plus, mounds help make the garden attractive.
Bob, when we designed the mounds, they were designed to make the water flow towards the dry stream bed, but they were also designed to be really nice looking, because can you imagine what this would look like if it were all flat?
I can, because that's what we had before, a completely flat surface. This is so much better.
So you remember that funky flagstone that was here before? Look how
Yes.
much better this is.
Oh, it's great, and we love this color. It fits so well with everything.
Impermeable surfaces are only where they're most needed, like in entryways and patios. All other surfaces are made of decomposed granite, a material that allows rain to percolate down into the ground.
All this water capture is for when it rains, mostly from October to March. The bigger challenge is to keep plant roots wet enough when it's dry, especially the first few seasons in the ground.
In the dry months, this garden is irrigated with high-efficiency inline drip irrigation. As the water drips out slowly, it goes straight into the soil and is held there by a thick layer of mulch. A rain barrel is another way the owners capture water, in this case runoff from the roof. Together, these systems support the new garden and keep plants going through the hot, dry summer. All the plants are grouped together according to their water needs. The very low water plants will need just an occasional irrigation after they're established, while the vegetable garden, the fruit trees, and the pollinator garden will need to be watered more often. This practice of hydrozoning adds another layer to the garden's organization. It's just like putting full sun plants in one area and shade plants in another. Edible plants are typically the thirstiest plants. That's the best place to spend water and save it on the ornamentals.
The diversity of plants in this garden is so interesting. Here is the desert mallow. That's from California's native deserts. The grevillea is from Australia. The rosemaries, they're from the Mediterranean. And these Alaruba violacea, they're from Saudi Arabia. All of these plants do beautifully in California's dry climate and lean soils.
Flowering shrubs are the mainstay of the garden. Their fine leaves and beautiful blooms form the backdrop for thick-leaved succulents and smaller perennials. Masses of blue-green ornamental grasses will knit together and create the negative space that once would have been a lawn. Together, all of these plants offer texture, color, and year-round interest, punctuated by blooms that change from season to season.
These plants are spaced based on their mature sizes. Now, it might look a little spare now, but in 2 or 3 years, these plants will grow in and they won't need to be pruned. This is the opposite of instant landscape and one of the keys to low-maintenance gardening. What surprised you the most about this new garden?
I think the colors. We were ready for plants with a lot of different colors, but we weren't sure what we'd have, especially now in the winter. And we're looking forward to see how things progress and how the appearance of the plants changes as the year progresses.
All this garden needs is a little time for the plants to grow in and reach their potential. So, what can you expect of a Waterwise garden after 3 or 5 years? This succulent garden is filled with color and structure and texture. See how the plants complement the home's design? They create vignettes and they enhance the views. Succulents are easy to grow. They're tough too, and look at how colorful they are. Most succulents need very little in the way of irrigation. And while some gardens like this one are all succulents, these plants are easy to mix with Waterwise trees, shrubs, grasses, and other low-water plants. Are you looking for something closer to home? Use native plants to invite nature to your doorstep. In the rainy months, these gardens spring to life with their subtle colors, their beautiful foliage, and their great blooms. They rest in the drier, hotter months of the year. Native plants attract birds and insects and other creatures that call California home. These gardens offer a sense of place, as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than gardens filled with exotic plants. Hancock Park is known for large homes with broad lawns and tree-lined parkways. When David and Erin Zabel bought this home several years ago, the front garden was a tangled mess of overgrown plants. The front door was hidden behind a wall. Hancock Park's Historic Preservation Overlay Zone requires major changes like new landscape to be reviewed and approved by a committee. The couple hired landscape designer Nick Dean to design their new Waterwise garden and usher it through the process. Dean's design transformed an old-school turf and shrub landscape into a beautiful Waterwise garden in keeping with the historic nature of the property, and that offers something for every member of the family.
This is so beautiful. There's all these lawns. I hear all these lawnmowers. There's all this watering going on. And look, what did you
Exactly.
do?
We took out every square inch of the grass here. The owners wanted to go low water, so we just took it all out from the sidewalk to the house. We graded it, and then this is an entire low water, low irrigation garden. Everything new.
It's beautiful.
No,
Boy,
thank you
and
so
a
much.
lot less work.
Definitely, yes. A lot less mow and blow.
I see that you've used everything kind of in drifts, right?
That's the way to do it, yes. I think it's to get that natural feel. You put in, I like to use odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, but drifts of plants, one blending into the next.
And I see the different heights and the textures.
Beautiful, yes, thank you. Yes, foliage color is as important as flowers, as far as I'm concerned. I think you can do so much with that. And then it's year round.
This is exquisite.
This is my favorite thing in the entire garden.
This was here?
This was already here. The start of this tree is way over by the house, and it's snaked its way through a lot of overgrown shrubs. And once we cut them back, we revealed this beautiful shape of that trunk is just fantastic.
Yeah, you couldn't get rid of this.
Absolutely not, no.
And where did the wood for the bridge come from? It looks just like this.
Well, there was another tree like this one that had succumbed to being in the undergrowth for too long. And that one had expired, but we saved the pieces, we cut them, and then I used those pieces to clad this wooden bridge, which takes you over the trunk of the living tree.
So I feel like we actually are walking over some water.
We did. We created a stream just using native grasses, and I think the effect is really pleasing.
Yep, that's the best way to do water in a Waterwise garden. Oh, and now we're in kind of the, I'm not going to say formal part of the garden, but it's more a structured part of the garden.
That was exactly the intention, was to create a little bit of the formal feel within the wild garden.
But this is the barrier. This is kind of the dividing point.
Yes.
Wild
exactly.
and organized.
Perfect. And then these hop bushes are going to just thicken up enough to give the plants a little privacy when they're sitting out, because it's the front, we're by the street after all.
And then the roses behind.
And the roses behind, which we saved from the original garden. So they were all transplanted and put into this nice little arc here.
The rose garden and the fruit trees are close together in a higher water zone. Dean's keyhole patio design has a European feel. And by choosing permeable decomposed granite as the patio surface, Dean is minimizing runoff and erosion that could damage the plantings below. Dean's carefully selected cobbles emphasize the garden's old world feel and help lead visitors to the front entrance, which is not where you'd expect.
And this pathway takes me right to
the front door, which you otherwise would not be able to find.
because it's on the side of the house.
That's the whole thing. Part of the design challenge was how do you lead people from the front garden around the house to the front door with some ceremony, you know? So it's not just a straight driveway.
Yeah.
Too many houses just have one long straight shot of driveway. By digging that up and putting in this cobblestone circle, adding a wall fountain, the pots, so you create like a little miniature garden. It's like a pocket garden outside the front door.
And it feels like old Europe.
It really does, and I'm very happy with that, and the materials are all old, and the way we've been able to get the moss to grow between the stones. I think it's coming along really nicely. One of my favorite plants is actually over here. It's the bush demander. Do you know that one? Toucan, azerum.
So tell me about what makes this garden water-wise.
Okay, so it's not just the plantings, which are themselves gorgeous. Everything here, we have Mediterranean plants, we have some California natives, but we also have the decomposed granite, as you see on the floor.
For water permeability.
Exactly, and we have low water irrigation, all underground drip.
And I see there's mulch.
And mulch too, so that's very good, stops the evaporation, keeps the weeds down.
So you've got all the basic elements of a water-wise garden right here.
Everything you see around you, this is textbook Waterwise.
This garden offers a number of spaces to sit and enjoy its sights and its scents.
These stepstones were made from trees that we cut at the back of the property. And they lead you right through into this enchanted space.
Oh, look at this. This is so sweet.
And one area is specially designed for the owner's young daughters.
Exactly.
This is like an enchanted spot. I'm ready for a magical tea party.
This is the favorite spot for my clients' two young girls. So they love to come out here, have their little friends over, they have their tea parties.
It smells oily. Yeah, oily. And like an herb.
It smells so good under here.
Well, a lot of these drought-tolerant plants have this marvelous fragrance, so I try to make use of that in the garden.
It's also something that sort of sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does. The idea is that the girls, when they're grown up, years later, are going to walk along somewhere in a future park and they're going to brush against that same plant, they're going to smell that fragrance, and they're going to be transported back to their beautiful lives when they were carefree and young.
Biggest surprise, I think, would be making it a usable living space, making it something that we would use as a family and not just have it be out here for show. And because of the pathways that Nick created and the beautiful little table under the tree over here that he created, and then also the idea of opening up our wall, which used to be just a wall and no gates, has created a circular pattern for us that is fun for just the four of us, but also if we have people over, it's really nice.
These, they have 4 sections in them. And they're kind of fiery at the tips. Yeah, and it looks kind of like a parrot's beak. That's why when you put these two together.
My girls absolutely adore this whole process and are learning so much about nature. And I love that that's been just a big educational process for all of us. And the fact that we have things that attract butterflies and bees and all those lovely things that you want in your garden.
Waterwise gardens fit any neighborhood and every lifestyle. And they can be as interesting and as beautiful, no, more beautiful, than any boring old well-watered lawn. Waterwise gardens can be any style and any size, and yet they all share common features. They capture and they hold water for plant roots to use. They feature efficient irrigation systems that support colorful and beautiful, unthirsty plants adapted to the local climate. They feature plants that don't need fertilizers and that grow slowly, so they don't need a lot of maintenance. Waterwise gardens invite us outdoors to enjoy green spaces that create a sense of place. This place, the place we call home. I'm Nan Sterman. Thanks for watching.